What would you say that you're able to do in your business now as a result of adding cohort coaching and some of your online offers that you weren't able to do before you made those shifts?
First one, survive. Seriously, Michael. I mean, if I was in my mode of being a speaker only, which is what I was in essentially 5 years ago, we had consulting services that we did, but it was a lot of our income was speaker driven revenues that you get from speaking in an event. My goose would be cooked right now, honestly, because a lot of speakers, I think 50% of all people who were speaker only in terms of their revenue stream will be gone in a year because it's not enough. And when events aren't happening, real world events are really gone, really for sure through probably first quarter of next year. And if we're lucky, maybe it'll pick up with a vaccine and that possibility will be out there. But if you don't have other offerings, you are really in a pickle. Yeah. So coaching for us has become our primary revenue generator. And it's forced us to develop supplemental online materials, which also will become revenue generators. So I would say pretty much everything in terms of our ability to continue to not only survive right now during the pandemic, but thrive goes back to the decision that we made pre-pandemic that coaching would be a good activity. I didn't realize how important that was when that decision was made, but I certainly appreciate it and I'm grateful for it now.
Yeah. Okay. When you think about a speaking business or even a service that's delivered one-on-one, whether you're a coach or a chiropractor or something like that, some of those things just have to be done that way. If you're manipulating someone's body or, cleaning someone's teeth, that's something that just has to happen in a specific way. But when you have a business like yours, where you were dependent upon getting on a plane and going somewhere and speaking to get paid, and now you've added these other aspects of your business, that's given you leverage from my perspective. Can you talk a little bit about how that new leverage has influenced your vision for your business around what's possible going forward?
Well, we really have just started calling ourselves a learning company. Before I was a speaker and we did some consulting with clients, but I was essentially, and I've been very lucky to work with the smartest woman in the world, my wife and business partner for the last 18 years. But our business would end the day that I stopped speaking. I mean, we were very dependent upon that as the alpha source, and the other business that came in just was not enough to really call it a business. I mean, it was well paid, but it was nothing that could help us realize our goal, which is in 10 years, we want to actually have something that someone would want to buy. Now with the addition of coaching, having a coaching methodology, a coaching guide, having a curriculum that we could actually teach people how to do our coaching, developing online courses that we now have 50 of them. And if we have 500, 1,000 of them 10 years from now, that's something someone could buy. So it's forced us to create IP that will have value over the long run because what we're teaching doesn't go out of date. And someone could say, you know what, the galvanizing group, yeah, it's that Patrick Galvin, the speaker guy, but we don't really need him. Like, he's got good materials and we want to build up our practice area around relationship building. It's a consulting company. It's a training company. It's like, why reinvent the wheel? Like, they've got a brand, they've got materials. Let's just take their stuff. And that's our dream scenario. And we didn't have that possibility before we started delving deeper into coaching and into creating the IP around really doing it well.
What's your position on the coaching and learning and education space, specifically for the market you serve, which is in the corporate realm? What's your perspective on like the possibility in that realm, given what you do and the way you do it?
I think it's tremendous. We have what we're finding when we talk to our cohort members about previous coaching type experiences that they've had, that we're not similar to anything that they've ever experienced before. There's a lot of top-down learning in the corporate environment where they bring people together and they bring in speakers or training companies and they talk to people. But small group coaching is something that's new to many businesses that are very successful businesses. And there's a real excitement. The fact that cohorts continue beyond the 3 months is a real testament to their strength. The fact that they can see transformations in the way people are conducting themselves, and that can be monitored through ultimately their sales, but also just through the processes that they're going through to build connection and relationship with their existing customers and others. So I think possibilities are great for us. I think any company that's going to go out and hire a sales training company should talk to us because we believe that sales are a byproduct of strong relationships. And a lot of sales training programs are really built around the magic words, the processes, but not really about deepening connection. So I think there's great hunger for what we offer. We have a very different spin on it from the way a lot of people approach things. And there's receptivity, and people are willing to, serve as testimonials for us when we refer potential clients to them. So I think that's the proof of the pudding is not what you say, but what your clients say. And we've been getting some really good feedback from them.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. I want to switch gears a little bit into coaching in the realm of what it means to have a coach and the benefits of coaching. And this is a little bit meta here because we're going to go into talking about the impact of coaching on you developing your coaching program in your business,
yeah.
Right? So to the best of your ability to remember, why did you originally reach out for coaching and what problems were you trying to solve?
Well, I was trying to figure out how I would incorporate it in the business. So my idea of coaching was really that of one-on-one. And that was kind of what I thought about when I thought about coaching. I knew that I wanted to help people actually carry out the ideas that I was speaking about, but I didn't have any idea of what the coaching model should look like. So you and I met, I believe, at the end of 2017 at a dinner that you did for clients, potential clients, friends, what have you. It was a fun event. We were introduced through a relationship, through a mutual acquaintance. So it goes to show that relationship building is how you build business. That's how we met. And when we started working together, I remember at the very beginning, you just were asking questions kind of along the lines of what you just said. And I immediately started talking about individual coaching. And you started sharing with me some examples of some of your other clients who had cohort model. I think that's the first time, honestly, I heard it. I had never heard it before. And I was worried about do I need certification and all that? And you gave me some great resources to read up on and understand it. But I didn't feel like, for me, certification was a route that I wanted to go. I wanted to go the route of how do I deliver information and facilitate a process where people are going to get better at what I'm speaking about. So it was with our work together that, cohort coaching seemed to make the most amount of sense for what we wanted to achieve.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. And this is a good moment too, to just, I think, confirm that coaching in and of itself isn't really something you sell. It's a model. It's a tool. And what you pour into that is what gets, the result. And so in your case, Patrick, you already had some amazing intellectual property, a proprietary methodology that was in your book. And all you had to do is bring that into a coaching model that fit for you and for your clients that you've iterated over time. Mm-hmm. And I think that is the beauty of coaching. It's a great tool that we can use, but coaching in and of itself is just that. It's like a tool in your tool belt. It's the IP, it's the brilliance that you already have that you pour into coaching that makes the difference. So do you remember, was there any hesitation about the investment of time or money into coaching? And if so, how did you overcome it?
My business partner was not sure that it would make a huge difference. Yeah. She said, we could probably, so we're both MBAs, and we could just read about coaching, figure it out for ourselves, and just why have a coach about coaching when there's books about coaching and online courses about coaching? Why would you actually need somebody? And I said, well, me, I'm a talker. So for me, it's useful to talk through ideas. And that's what sold her on it, was she knows that that's kind of the way I make decisions, inform myself. So that's ultimately what sold it to her. I was sold. I was told after having gotten to know you that it would be a good thing, but my biggest obstacle was overcoming her objection.
Yeah. All right. I think that's a common one when we're asking our significant other, our partner, or spouse to move forward with a big investment of time and energy. So, yeah, I appreciate you sharing that.
Yeah.
How would you say that your business and life has shifted over the time that we've worked together in specific ways? What are some of the things that come to mind?
Well, the biggest by far and away is it's put me on the path to answering the question in the affirmative that is the most important question in my life. And that is, when I die, what do I want people to say about me? And I want them to say, he made a difference. And thanks to our work together and getting coaching going, I feel like I am making a difference in the lives of the people that we work with. And I didn't feel that way when I was just speaking to them. I was nice. It was fun, interesting, entertaining, some good ideas, but it wasn't transformative. And being able to work with you and to develop this coaching methodology and have a real business plan built around, how we can grow our business by helping others has allowed me to answer that question. Yes, I am making a difference. And it makes me feel really good about myself.
That's great. That's great to hear, Patrick. You could have chosen any number of coaches. I think I said on one of these previous that you can throw a rock and hit a coach. There's a lot of them out there, right?
Yeah, I'm actually looking out my window right. I think that guy in the corner coaches. Maybe if I really cranked up my arm, I might be able to hit him in the head. So it could be a literal truth to what you just said.
There's a lot of coaches out in the world, right? Which, I think can make it a little bit intimidating on who do you work with? Who do you trust? Who do you not trust? So for you, was there a particular reason or maybe set of criteria that you were looking for when you chose to invest with working with me as a coach?
I think it's sort of the question, is there one woman in the world for you or one man, the perfect spouse? It's honestly, probably not. There's probably different people who could be a good spouse, but you could sure check some things off of the list to increase the probabilities that you're going to be one of the more successful marriages. And I think the same could be said for working with a coach. So you want to have someone who really resonates, I think, on a personal level first. If someone is a great expert, but you just don't connect with them personally, it's not going to be good. And I felt like we connected personally. You're a great relationship builder. So I want to build a coaching practice around relationship building. So for me, that was the primary criteria. It's do I respect the way this person builds relationships? Do you respect how your coach or prospective coach handles the things that are most important to you? And for me, the answer was absolutely in the affirmative. And because of that, I didn't shop around. I didn't call around and get what's the price of this coach or the price of that coach? I didn't even talk to anyone else about coaching, Michael. It was just, you had gotten to know me, I had gotten to know you, and I felt very comfortable with the decision. Because you checked all the boxes. And I think that if somebody doesn't have that feeling and that box doesn't really check, it's go with your gut and do yourself the favor of talking to some more people who you feel do check the box, because I think there's a lot to be said for that initial feeling you have. And then you want to do your due diligence, which I did. But really, it has to be, I think, first a personal connection, that you respect that person as a human being and you respect their body of knowledge. And I think if you start out on that level, you have the grounds of a successful relationship.
All right. So looking forward for you, Patrick, what opportunities in your business are you most excited about?
So it's funny. I mean, the industries that we're strong in right now are ones that are kind of the legacy of us my having spoken in them, prior to the book, with the book coming out. But I honestly don't know over the next 10 years what is going to be our number one industry, because what we're coaching around, I think, has a very wide net on which we're pulling from. So I love the element of surprise. If I woke up and I knew exactly how things were going to transpire over the next 10 years, that would make me sad. I like that element of we're going to grow. I don't know how, but I know we have a good product. We have a good mindset. We have some great clients to refer to that we can grow quite a bit. And it's the excitement of not knowing exactly how it's going to unfold that it really revs me up.
Yeah. I mean, a few months ago, none of us knew that there was a global pandemic. And that's opened up new opportunities that could have never been realized as fast as they have just due to constraint, right? Mm-hmm. And there's doors that have closed too that we could have never anticipated. So that's opened up some interesting opportunities for many businesses that will be doing business different than they ever have as a result of other doors that have been shut. So it's always, I like that approach that you just mentioned, because so many times it seems like we're trying to at least have ourselves, maybe others believe that we've got every step planned out for the next 3 years. And it's kind of impossible.
Well, I think really for me, it's about worrying about the input. So are we putting out quality stuff out there? Are we giving people good experiences? Those are the things that we can control. A global pandemic, we have no control over. Election results, we have no control over that. Yeah. If you worry about the things that you have no control over, it is a recipe for frustration, for stomach ulcers, what have you. If you focus in on the inputs, providing great coaching, things will work themselves out. They really will. And I think it's a lot easier to live that way than to worry about, am I going to succeed in this industry or that industry? I don't care so much about that, because I think if I deliver good product and a good experience, where we can deliver the most value will kind of figure itself out.
Yeah, that's sage advice and perspective. One final question, Patrick. If someone were considering hiring a coach to grow or evolve their business, and maybe they were a little bit hesitant, what advice would you give them?
What I would encourage people to do is to reach out to people in their network who they think have gone through coaching and talk to them about their experiences. Mm-hmm. Through that, you might find some great potential coaches. You might get that affirmative, hey, it's worth it, from people who you know and respect. I think that's really worthwhile. And there's a lot of great literature out there, resources about coaching and the value of it. I'd encourage you to read a couple of those books to inform yourself about the coaching experience, and to go into it with an open mind and definitely a commitment to talk to people who've worked with a prospective coach that you're considering to see if that might be a good fit. Nothing is a sure thing, but from my experience and the experience of many, many other people I know who have gotten coaches and have taken it seriously, they've done the work and they've committed to a certain period of time. I don't know really of any failures. Where I know of failures are when people try something for a month or two, expect it's a magic wand experience, and all of a sudden they're going to be transformed, their business is going to be transformed. I've never heard a story like that. I don't think they exist. So I would say, do your homework, commit to the long haul, do the work, and it will work out.
Fantastic. Yeah, that's one of my big caveats with coaching. The coach doesn't show up and wave the magic wand and everything's amazing. The person receiving the coaching is still the one who has to do the work and show up. Yeah.